What's going on, everyone? Going into this offseason, there were many questions about the Utah Jazz and what they were going to do with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. There were lots of talks and questions on which one of them should they trade. Should they keep Donovan, build around him? Should they trade Rudy and, try to recoup as many assets as they can? Problem is, Rudy has just such a large contract. The pool for his type of trade would be very limited, where Donovan Mitchell likely could go to a plethora of teams, and many of them would likely give up a pretty nice return, a reasonable contract for the production he gives, things like that. Well, we finally have a decision that the Utah Jazz made, and that was trading Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert has officially been traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves to team up with Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. D'Angelo Russell, I imagine that they would likely move off of. He is also a free agent after this season, so maybe they keep him, try to ride it out. But this is a huge pickup and a very interesting one for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But real quick, what the trade detailed was the Minnesota Timberwolves would get Rudy, and then what they are sending back, Minnesota is sending back its 2023, 2025, and 2027 unprotected picks. So they're sending back 3 unprotected picks for Rudy Gobert, a top 5 protected in 2029, which is insane. And then they're sending back several players, Patrick Beverley, Malik Beasley, Walker Kessler, and Jared Vanderbilt, and Leonardo Bombaro. So that's the return. I'm actually surprised that they didn't give up D'Angelo Russell. I figured that he would be in this type of trade, but they were able to keep him. And I imagine, like I said, is that they're going to end up trading him for something, or they just kind of run it back and see like what this team does. But I mean, you got Rudy, but this is a ridiculous haul. Like, just to pause for a second on this return. I mean, you're giving up several players, right? You're giving up 5 players and 4 unprotected picks, essentially. I mean, the last one is top 5 protected, but still, I mean, you'd imagine that they're going to be pretty good even for at least the next couple years. So this is just what a return, and this is just great for if you're the Utah Jazz, because you move off of this huge contract. You got some nice, solid young guys. Malik Beasley, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt. He was really solid for the Timberwolves. So you got him. Patrick Beverley is kind of just the add-on. I don't know what they do with these guys. I don't know if they actually keep them and play them. I imagine some of them they probably move in other deals, things like that. You got to imagine that Utah's probably not done. They still got to build the team. Either that or Donovan. They tell Donovan Mitchell hey, just ride it out for a year. I don't know. This trade is a great return for Rudy Gobert. If you're the Utah Jazz, I mean, I didn't think they'd get a return like this. If I'm being honest, I thought you're taking back a couple bad contracts. You probably get maybe 2 or 3 picks. Even if you did get 4 picks, I figured that there would be some of them that have some protection, top 5 protection, things like that. No, Minnesota basically just pushed all their chips to the table and just said, here, we want Rudy. They want to move Cat to the power forward position. I'm curious to see how that works. I know he has an outside shot. I know he's a guy that can knock it down. And I think their logic is because Cat really isn't a baner down low with the big fellas. So, he's more of a shooter, finesse type guy. He's a guy that can put up numbers. I think that's kind of what they're thinking. Let's go big. You got Rudy as that defensive anchor, as that rebounder, as that guy to bang with the other bigs. And then you got Cat, who can shoot the outside shot, knock down the threes, spread the floor, things like that. You have Anthony Edwards. You still have all of these pieces and all of these guys that can be really effective for you. So I understand why Minnesota did this. I mean, for that kind of return, I think you could have got something better. But I mean, I'm not against this trade at all. I think that Rudy is going to fit in. I'm just curious to see how the big man duo is going to work. If it's going to be great or not. Cat can pass the ball. We saw Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert have that falling out, and we saw Rudy get bothered and upset by the lack of touches. What do you think is going to happen on the Minnesota Timberwolves? Because he's going from the second option to being the 4th option. Is he a guy that's going to come in and just rebound, block shots, get putbacks, just settle for the little dump passes, stuff like that? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be that guy. If he is, then that's perfect. If he just kind of fits in and gels beautifully, then this is a great pickup for the Timberwolves, who were a very good team last year. I think that this is, and then from the Utah standpoint, to me, this is a rebuild move. Like, I'm curious to see if they trade Donovan Mitchell because, you got a ton of draft picks and you got some young players and stuff, but you didn't get anybody back. Like, if they would have gotten D'Angelo Russell back, then okay, you at least have D'Lo and Mitchell. You got two guys that can score, that can do stuff. Okay, cool. Like, we're already, like, there's no really high-end free agents left, and you don't have anything else to trade other than maybe these picks, these young players. Unless a third team gets involved and you're trying to go get, like, maybe Kevin Durant or something. Like, I don't know what the plan is for the Utah Jazz. For the Timberwolves, it makes all the sense in the world. You're getting that defensive anchor. You get a center that can run the floor, stuff like that. Cat, we'll see how he does at the four. My only concern is, like, it doesn't work or he becomes a headache and then you're stuck with somebody that you can't trade. Or if you are, you're trading for pennies on the dollar. That's my only real concern for the Wolves. And how much better does this make them? Does this make them a legit contender now? Or does this just kind of like, you're going from being in the play-in to like maybe fifth seed, sixth seed. Like, that's kind of how I feel about this move, just on the surface level. Obviously, we'll see how well he meshes, how well he gels, kind of what the offensive schemes and stuff and the defense schemes are. But like, just on the surface level, I don't think going and getting Rudy makes the Timberwolves an instant contender. I think that all this does is it makes them maybe at best a top 3 seed. I still don't think Minnesota's better than like the Warriors, even the Suns. If the Lakers get Kyrie, I don't think they're better than Kyrie with the Lakers. But I don't know. That's just kind of my opinion. And then again, for the Jazz, I imagine that we're probably going to get a Donovan Mitchell trade relatively soon. Just because, like I said, this trade, they're either doing one of two things. They either got this package to move it to somebody else to go get another star, or they got this package to completely rebuild. Because there's none of those, like, even just those mid-tier guys where you're like, okay, like, oh, we got these, like Donovan, we got these mid-tier guys, like, this is going to be great. We got the role players. Next year, ride it out. We'll be a playoff team. Next year, we'll go get you that other star. No, this was like full-on a rebuild package. Like, we want nothing but draft picks and young players. And that's what they got. So I don't know. To me, this looks like we're trading Donovan Mitchell here shortly too. But that is my opinion. That is my thoughts. And as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about Rudy going to the Minnesota Timberwolves? Do you love the trade? Do you hate the trade? Where do you think this puts Minnesota as far as like contention? Think they're just like the middle of the pack team? Do you think they're still a play-in team? Do you think like, no, they're a legit contender now? I still don't think they are. Minnesota's still very young. I think that I want to see how they play first, but like just on the surface level, like I said, to me, this just looks like a move that, yes, it makes them better. It does, absolutely. But I don't think it makes them like, top 5 in the league. I think this makes them, like I said, somewhere between, at the absolute best, I think you're probably like the 2 or 3 seed in the Western Conference. That doesn't mean you're a contender. That just, because there's a lot of teams that they don't care about seeding. They just want to get to the playoffs. I think at best you're, 3 seed probably, but I think realistically they're probably somewhere in the 4 to 6 range, depending on how other teams shape up, stuff like that. But Utah, let me know what you think about Utah. Do you think that, it was an incredible package. I am shocked at the return that the Jazz got. This was incredible return for the Utah Jazz. But it's a return that, like I said, kind of just looks like, it kind of looks like a rebuild return. Like, you're trying to get as many assets as possible. They didn't try to take on any, mid-tier contracts. They didn't try to take D'Lo, stuff like that. Unless they were just like, we don't want him. He's not going to re-sign with us anyway, that kind of thing. I don't know. But I'm sure that there are other teams that maybe could have given you, like, a mid-tier guy. I wish we knew what other offers were on the table. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Utah is just going to go full on rebuild, trade Donovan? I just don't know if Donovan's going to want to wait around a year. Is he really going to want to be terrible for a year and then hope that they come back and build a contender around him? I don't know. I don't think so. But that's just me personally. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.